What's going on, everybody? It's Q Jackson, lifestyle editor of the Quintessential Gentleman, and I am here with business owner, CEO, and all that good stuff, Mr. Keon Davis. What's going on, sir?
How you doing, bro?
I am great, man.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you for having me in your establishment. We're here at his first location of Smooth and Groove in McDonough. Yep. So go ahead and tell the people a little bit about what Smooth and Groove is.
So Smooth and Groove is pretty much becoming a lifestyle brand, right? Where we are, we are bringing the healthy, beneficial foods, products, drinks, smoothies, anything that you can think of to kind of help your body become healthy from the inside out, right? Okay. So the main thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that, one, we can make it taste good, right? Because we know that no matter what happens, I can tell you that you drink this drink and it'll make you look like, the best figure, you get the best figure in the world, right? But if it tastes like licking the ground, you might do it 1 or 2 days, right?
Yeah.
So the thing that we want to do is we want to take the product that's going to be helpful, beneficial, give you everything that you need for your body to get you where you need to be, but make it taste good at the same time, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, because I ain't never taste lick the ground. I ain't never. So how did the concept for Smooth and Groove come about?
So we started inside of a gym, 2011. And from there, what I wanted to do was, I used to love the California raisins, right? I used to absolutely love and adore the California raisins. And from there, what I did, I wanted like a modern day version of the California raisins, right? So when I always looked at the raisins, it was always like you heard it from the grapevine and all that type of stuff, but they only sold raisins, right? But the experience that you got from the California raisins, it made you feel a certain type of way, right? It made you feel good. So I kind of wanted to recreate that. And that's kind of how the concept came about. With my original logo, it was, the fruit with the Ray-Bans, with the gloves, kind of the same feel. But I never wanted to create a product that was just transactional.
Okay.
Right? I never wanted to create a product that was just transactional. I wanted to make it more about the experience, more about the community, more about the feeling, more about the what you're getting when you come here, and the product is secondary. Right?
Yeah.
So it's more about how am I gonna make you feel? How do you feel when you leave here? Right? And how do people, when they come in, they may feel down, but when they leave, they're gonna leave with a smile. Right? So that was one of the things that we really wanted to kind of target and create to make sure that it's not just transactional. Because when you think about transactional, that's not a part of everybody's daily routine. Right? So I read a book called Biology, right? B-U-Y-ology. And in there, it talked about how to become someone's daily routine. Why is coffee so big? Why is coffee $1 billion industry, right? Because coffee, not only 72% of people don't like straight black coffee, right? Which means that, it's not how coffee tastes, it's how coffee makes you feel, right? Okay. So when I think about that, it's like, that's important. So when I think about how things make me feel, I think about how it creates a routine, right? So if you know how you feel every single morning, and you know what makes you feel a certain type of way every single morning, right? And you know what you feel like when you don't have it, right? Then that's what makes you do it every single day. Right. That's why coffee is a part of your routine, right? So when you tap into that space and it's like, all right, cool, well, how can I create a daily routine for someone and make them feel a certain type of way? Because again, it's not about the taste, it's about the feel, right? So that's kind of the angle that we attack and what we try to keep, at the forefront of our minds when we're doing everything when it comes to business, life, lifestyle. That's what we talk about, it becoming a lifestyle brand.
And I can see you actually living what you just said, from not being a transaction, being an experience. Because when I walked in here, there were about 5 people that walked in not too long after I got here. And each and every one of those people you greeted, you may have known, you made them feel appreciated for coming to the establishment, and you created an experience for us. So kudos on that.
I appreciate it.
What is your background? Like, what got you into where we are right now today?
To be honest, man, I think I was chosen. Like, it chose me, I didn't choose it. Okay. And I think the beauty of that is that the skills and the experiences that I had previous to this kind of set me up for this, right? So like in college, I threw all the parties, right? I was cutting hair, you know what I mean? I was playing sports, I pledged Kappa, like all of those different things, the different components that I use the same thing here, right? So it's a party feel, right? it's the atmosphere, it's the promotion, it's the hustle, you know what I mean? All of those different type of things. It's the personal customer service and cutting hair, right? Getting to know each individual person, you know what I mean, when they come in. So I think that a lot of those things, and even when it comes to sports, just the hunger and knowing how to grind and knowing how to go through, you know, struggles and to push through certain things. I think all of those components kind of helped me in this space to help me thrive. I don't think if I didn't have one of those, I wouldn't be the same person, and this wouldn't be, you know, the same concept, you know, that it was. So that's kind of like my background, but I just take everything that I've learned and everything that I've experienced and put it all in one package, and this is where you guys see it.
Okay. So at this moment, we are in one of your locations. In the next 6 months, we'll be able to take one of many locations.
Correct.
So how does that feel to know that an idea that you came up with was supported enough, was big enough, was good enough to create multiple locations out of this one thing?
You know, the beauty of it for me, because I started it like on a napkin, right? The idea, I just started drawing it out on a napkin. And I think the beauty for me is that what you just said, right? Seeing something that I created that people actually enjoy, right? Seeing something that I created that people actually can benefit from. Actually, just seeing something I created that people's willing to pay for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, right? So it's like just being in that space and knowing that this is something that was given to me, that my brain created, that I pushed out, that I was willing to, you know, go through whatever I need to go through to make this happen, right? Because like at the end of the day, every business starts the same way, right? So before I started, I used to go and I used to ride past like Walmarts, McDonald's, Subways. Like I would ride past and I'm like, bro, I know and I understand that all businesses start the same way, right? But when I looked at those companies, they multi-billion-dollar companies, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I know that one, businesses all start the same way. Two, it took somebody that had guts and effort and grit to say, you know what, I'm gonna do this job, right? I'm gonna make this happen. No matter what happens, I'm gonna make this happen, right? So when I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? I'm very competitive. If you line me and Ray Kroc up side by side, I'll outdo him every day of the week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing with Sam Walton, right? So if I know that, if I feel that way about anything and anyone that's standing in the same lane, if these people created a multi-billion-dollar industry or company, why have I not started anything? You know what I'm saying? So once I started my company, it's like, look, I gotta hit it until I create it into this. Because again, if I can say that they line me up, we can do it. I don't care what their resources are. I don't care who they are. I don't care what kind of money they got backing and all that stuff. I can figure it out the same way, right? So if they can create a multi-billion-dollar company, I can create a multi-million-dollar company, at least, at minimum, right? So that's one of the things that kind of stuck at the forefront of my mind and kind of helped me to maneuver through, you know, even the toughest times, right?
So when it comes to being a business owner, how important is it to be hands-on, to be a part of the day-to-day operation, to be a part of the culture of the business? How important is that for you?
For me, it's huge, right? Especially in the beginning, because this is like your child, right? And you see your child grow, and you see everything you put into your child, and you see all the different things. It's like telling you to let your child be babysitted by somebody you don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's the same feeling of hiring people to come in to run and operate your business, right? And it's like, if you don't have certain things in place, then you won't be able to be okay with letting that happen, right? But as I've grown and as I've been around other business owners and been around different people, I understand that it's more about creating the systems and working on those systems so that the business can operate without you, right? So having a business that not only are you the face of the business is one thing, right? But for the business to rely on you is another thing, right? Businesses can't scale that way, right? I can't scale a business if it solely relies on me, right? So no matter how hard it is and no matter what I feel, no matter what type of attachment that I have to it, if I want to grow, I have to be able to detach, create systems to fill that gap, right? So that gap, I call it 80-20 gap. Like if I can get 80% of what I would do, you know what I'm saying, and I not have to do it, I'll take it, right? So that gap that's there, I have to create enough systems and master those systems enough to where I can feel okay with that gap. And throughout that process, I know that it's taken care of based on the system. You know what I mean? So that's the only way that I can scale, or else I can just continue to be a mom and pop shop where I'm in here every day. Every time you come in, you're gonna see me. I can't never go on vacation. I can't never enjoy anything.
Yeah.
I can never, you know what I'm saying? And so that's not why you get in business, right? You get in business to be able to create a legacy. You can't create a legacy if you're doing it every single day. That's not a legacy, that's a job, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to, you know, and again, these are all things that I've just realized within the last couple of years. You know what I mean? I've been in business for a long time, but I just realized this the last couple of years because I will say this: I wasn't doing business; I was hustling up until about a year or so ago, right?
So what's the difference?
A big difference.
How do you define the difference?
So for me, hustling is just figuring stuff out. Right, just going with the flow, whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? There's no real rhyme or reason of why you're doing it. You just like, hey, we just got to do this, right? Running a business is actually being able to monitor and dictate what's going to happen, knowing your ups and downs, knowing your ebbs and flows, right? Knowing your bottlenecks, knowing different things to where you can have things in place, knowing that your system actually works, right? And to be able to move forward to another level or be able to add more stores opposed to just doing it because it's there to do, right? You want to do it because the market is there for you. You've done the research. You've done everything that you needed to do in that space to know that this is going to work and this is why it's going to work, right? Opposed to like, no, I'm going to make it work, right? No, you can't do that, right? You need to understand your industry. You need to understand your target market. You need to understand the area that you're in. You need to understand that the doors within the household. All of these different things go into actually operating a business to give you the best possible chance to be successful. Other than that, you just throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks. You know what I mean? So I think that's the difference. And I think for the longest time, I was doing that. I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything else. I'm just going to outwork everybody else, and I'm going to work myself in the ground, right? I can't continue to do that, and I can't scale like that.
Now look, when is the book coming out? Because everything that you just gave, I feel like inspiring entrepreneurs, you out there, y'all need this. And I feel like people will buy it not because of the word, but because you're like living proof of what the words will be and what they will mean. So when's the book coming out?
Well, I got a
Make
couple
sure
books.
I get that at least the first,
I got a couple books, man. I actually have a couple books now that are actually published that I really don't even push. I got a book called Go For It, right? The only decision you need to make, right? I have another book, a couple recipe books. Making Smoothie Magic. I got Making Smoothie Magic 2.0. I also have another book called Food for Thoughts. Right?
Now, can people purchase this when they come to Smoothie Room?
Oh yeah, well they can purchase them online. I got a bunch of ebooks now.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my Go For It book. They can actually purchase it here. I got a couple of my recipe books left, but you can get them online as the ebooks as well.
Okay.
You get the same thing. The other one is Food for Thoughts, the top 20 brain foods, right? So these are foods that help your thoughts, right? They help your brain function. I have a book called Is It the Taste or the Feel? Right? The $1 Million Hack to Impeccable Customer Service. You know what I mean? And then the last one is The Moments I Met My Soul. So those are
What's that one?
That one that's a real deep, like personal experience book that I'm working through, and it's something that helped me, right? And I think that throughout that process, and I'm still in the process of it, but looking back at it, there's been a lot of moments that I think a lot of people have that don't even realize it. You'll call them defining moments, right? You'll call them, make or break moments, or you'll call whatever you want to call them, right? I call them moments when I met my soul, right? Because each one of those moments that I've learned, I've actually learned who I was through the loss, right? I've actually learned more about myself in losing. I've actually learned more about myself in the process of not being able to, or not having, or not knowing enough, or you know what I'm saying? And so throughout all of those different moments are moments that I met more of myself.
Wow. Wow, that's deep. I definitely want to check that one out. So what's next for the Smooth and Groove brand? What's next for Keon Davis?
So with the Smooth and Groove brand, I think we're gonna continue to just get better. Honestly, we got a couple features that we're doing on like mainstream TV. We got the Good Morning America, Good Day Atlanta, where we're being featured. Also, we're opening up the store in Decatur, and we're looking to add at least 2 to 3 more by the end of the year. And try to just establish a strong footprint when it comes to the smoothie industry, and being in a space where people can see and taste and feel what we actually do. You know what I mean? As far as Keon goes, I think for me, it's more or less of becoming more of a businessman, not just a smoothie guy, right? And so I had to learn that. I was told that, like, hey, look, you're more than a smoothie guy, right? You're actual businessman.
Yeah.
So let's get rid of that title, right? And let people know that you're Keon Davis, right? And this is what you do. You know what I mean? So now learning to take those pointers for myself and do them in different areas to where I can touch other things, I can operate other businesses, I can help other people in other spaces, whether it's consulting, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, developing products, developing concepts, and doing the things, like you said earlier, doing the things that I've already proven that I can do, but just do it in other areas. Because like one of the things that I know about, let's just say like Diddy, for instance, right? When people work, everybody wants to work with Diddy, right? Because they know whatever he touches is gonna turn to gold. But the only reason they know that is because he did one thing right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing with Jay-Z. Like, you know Jay for doing music and all these different things, but you know him as a businessman.
Yeah.
He's gonna do it right.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why everybody, hey, let's make this deal. You know what I mean? So I think that once you do one thing right and people see that you've created this track record, or they can actually see, they call them receipts.
Yeah.
Right? You can see the receipts no matter how long it took you to do it. Once you do one thing right, everything you touch from there gonna turn into gold.
Yeah.
Because you done put in and implemented a system and a track record, and you understand business so much that no matter what you do, it's just a plug and play now. Right? It's plug and play. You don't have so many ups and downs, so many hurdles, so many losses, so many different understandings and things like that. So now all you're doing is just plugging and playing. Right? So that's the thing that I feel that Keon Davis will continue to do.
I love it. So look, tell the people how they can get in touch with you, stay in contact with you, and support the Smoothie Group brand.
So you can hit us up on all platforms, right? Smoothing Group is all platforms. It's Smoothing Group, SMOOTH, the letter N, Group, GROOVE. That's the website, the IG, the LinkedIn, the Twitter, the Pinterest, the anything social, you can find us there. But also you can find me at the Keon Davis on all social platforms as well.
All right, well, I appreciate it. Look, we're about to go ahead and end this interview because it's smoothie time. So